YouTube? Evan here with Cloud9 Aquariums. Today we're going to get back into the guppy playlist, specifically how to breed guppies. Obviously it's one of those things where if you're not a beginner, it seems kind of obvious to some of us, and it's really very simple. So there's just a couple key things I want to kind of guide you towards, and this will actually guaranteed just make a pleasurable experience every single time, and you'll have lots of little guppy fry flying around all the time. So if you're interested in getting into this, I encourage you to watch this entire playlist. It's not going to be very long because, as I've kind of alluded to before, it's not too complex, so it's probably only going to be 2 more videos or something like that after this one. So today I really want to just kind of touch on setting up the tank specifically, and then we'll also get into more specifics on setting up the tank in terms of what you're going to want to put in there in terms of pair-wise to get the best results. So, tank-wise, I usually like to do guppies in a minimum of a 10-gallon tank because they do actually pop out. Females usually will pop out. It's kind of a given that it's going to be about 30 fry at a time, so could be less, could be more, but be prepared for about 30. So, that being said, you don't want to put them in so small of a tank that it's going to be overcrowded the first time they pops them out. So a 10-gallon tank is usually a great size, very easy to maintain. Everything's readily available for them. You don't have to do a water change quite so frequently if it was something that was very small. But it seems to be a good size for what we need. You can always go up to a little bit bigger. I wouldn't really go any bigger than a 30-gallon. Usually between a 10 and 20 is fine. Right here behind me, I'm doing it in a 10-gallon because that's what I had sitting around, and it doesn't. This is what I've been doing for years, so it works great for me. If you're looking to get into this as a full-time, like, I'm going to start breeding guppies type of thing, then some of the stuff I'm going to be telling you is going to be a little bit irrelevant, because if you're going to want to make this a full-time type of operation, you're probably just going to want to go straight bare bottom tanks, and if you want to get a little bit more information on that, I would recommend actually watching my discus playlist, because I'm actually going to go more in depth on bare bottom tanks there. But for here, I'm actually going with how to breed them in a very how should I say this, a nice environment. I want to have my tank looking nice. Okay, bare bottom tanks, no offense to anyone who has bare bottom tanks, I've got a couple of them, but I just don't like them. Okay, I mean, they're great to take care of, don't get me wrong, and they're my favorite tank when it comes to cleaning time. But in terms of, because I'm a plant guy and I love plants, bare bottom tanks don't really do it for me. You know, there's only so much you can grow in them. So if you want a beautiful tank, there are ways to breed guppies without bare bottom tanks. I'll also give you another reason why in a second why I wouldn't do a bare bottom tank with breeding guppies. But again, this is also your choice. So that being said, when it comes to actually setting up a tank for them, pretty simple. Basically the same thing you do with any other fish. Obviously you're going to need a heater. I usually like to keep my breeding tanks around 76 degrees up to 78. A little bit warmer is nice for the guppies. That's kind of where their habitat lies, so they will breed readily and they will eat heartily. If you do it a little bit colder, they may not eat quite so much. The young may not grow quite as fast, but again, 76, 78, you're completely safe on that. pH-wise, again, I wouldn't be concerned with it. They're very, very, very hardy fish. All I can say is when you're acclimating them to your tank, obviously, whatever they come from the fish store, do your drip acclimation process, which I've made a video on before. If you haven't watched it, please, people, do it. It's going to save you a lot of fish. So definitely do that to get them in the tank. Doesn't have to be anything major though. 10 minutes is fine. You don't got to do a 20-minute or 2-hour or whatever. You know, you don't got to go crazy with it. So once you got your tank all set up, your filter, I would just go on with a quick hang-on back filter. You don't need to go crazy. You can do a sponge filter because some hang-on backs will suck in your fries. So that's one of those things too, where are you looking to save all of your fry? Are you concerned with that? If you are concerned with that, have a second tank on standby, because you're going to have to pull out your parents when they pop. That's just one thing I want to let you know, that most fish are a little bit carnivorous when it comes to their children, and for some reason they like to eat them. Not all fish will do it. Sometimes they'll actually get over it after a couple little batches, but unfortunately guppies are one of those things where they won't get over it, and generally they will eat lots of their fry. Will they eat all of them? No, because if they did, there wouldn't be so many fry behind me right now. Now, as you can see in the tank, hopefully you can see, I'll do a close-up video before we leave, but I've actually got about 4 batches in here right now. I've got the parents, I've got the one batch where the first video on this playlist, that was that batch, which you'll see is the biggest juveniles that are in here right now. And then there's also been a couple more batches since then, because I have 3 females in here and they've all popped at least once. But so if you're wondering if I know what I'm doing, no, I have absolutely no idea, and my fish, I just get lucky randomly. But that being said, you probably could just get lucky randomly, because guppies are that easy to breed, people. All you gotta do is put a male with a female and you'll be fine. But we like to make it a little bit more complex than that, because that's why you watch my channel, because you want me to make this complex for you, right? Oh wait, no, I'm supposed to make it easy for you. That's right, that's right. Okay, so you've got your tank set up normally. Now, the one reason why, like I said, one reason why I wouldn't go bare bottom is that because guppies tend to eat their fry, it is very good to have lots of plant life for them. Healthy fry are going to remain in 2 main areas, especially while they're small. When they're so small that they're easy to eat, they're going to remain in 2 areas. They're either going to be exactly at the surface, those are usually the most fresh-born ones, and then eventually they will move to the lower portion. So you'll see them, they'll be at the top, they'll be at the bottom. They generally do not hang out in the center, okay? Once they're in the center, that's when they're comfortable, they're not going to get eaten, they're all set. So that being said, you're going to want to have plant life on top and on bottom. Now what I like to use for plant life, for top, obviously duckweed, okay? Because I don't want to have to do a billion, trillion water changes on this, because it's very difficult to do water changes when you have thousands of tiny little fry coming around and you don't want to suck them out, really. So duckweed is a great thing to help keep your tank running good. It's like an extra filter in there for you. Same thing with like something like water sprite, which you'll see. If you can't tell, this majority of what's behind me right now is duckweed, water sprite, and some stargrass, a little bit of java moss, and a lot of dwarf sage. I mean, I've got some random stuff in here because, as you knew, this was a grow-out tank. It's actually a dirted tank, so that's why my plants are going crazy in here. Doesn't have to be dirted to grow plants, but it just helps. I'll do a whole segment on dirted tanks, don't you worry. But right now we're talking about guppies. So that's the reason why I like to do a non-bare bottom tank, is because it lets me grow a lot more plants in the low level and then also in the high level. The great things, water sprite and anything low-lying like java moss or dwarf sage, something like that, those are great to kind of keep them hidden in the bottom, and the water sprite again goes to the top, so that hides them up there. So same thing with duckweed. So those are the 2 that I really recommend in terms of keeping your fry alive. So if you're going to leave your parents in there. There is an option too, when the female is finished popping them out, you can pull her out and put her in another tank. That's really if you want to save every imaginable soul. I kind of like to do the survival of the fittest type of a thing, because I'm not really trying to get a trillion babies out of this. So I leave the parents in with them, and it seems to work out well. The one good thing about that is they do tend to learn to eat a lot faster. And another good thing with having about 3 or 4 different batches in here is that I can continually use all different sizes of food. They'll always eat every imaginable thing you put in there, and they kind of just teach their little brothers and sisters how to eat. So it's like just a revolving circle. They always eat. They're not like discus or anything like that, where for some reason they just won't eat sometimes, and it's really annoying. These guys will always eat, especially if they have somebody teaching them how to eat. But even if you don't have the parents in there, they'll learn. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. The last thing I kind of want to touch on with this, well, actually 2 more things, I guess. Water changes, okay? Obviously water quality is very important. But again, as long as you're not really overcrowding the tank, once a week is fine, okay? You don't gotta go crazy with it. When you are doing your water change, though, definitely do a 50%. You know, you always know from me, big water changes, happy fish. That's just how it goes. Happy fish, happy plants, happy everyone, okay? But the main thing is just keeping your tank stable, just like any other fish tank. You know, if you can keep your normal tank stable, you're not gonna have a problem with guppies whatsoever. They can tolerate it, but again, fry are always a little bit more sensitive, a little bit more. I guess you would say they're a little bit more susceptible to disease and such. So it's always good to keep your water parameters up a little bit higher. I wish I could talk for you guys today, but unfortunately, I'm not going to cut that out because this is a real video, guys, and this is real life. So, but that being said, it's very easy to take care of them. In terms of actually mating them, okay, this is the great part. Once you have a planted tank, I would definitely recommend a planted tank. I mean, yeah, you could do it on something other scales, but planted tanks, guppies are always extremely happy in planted tanks. What I like to do is I like to do 3 females, 2 males. Why do I do that? You always want to have more females than males, because as you'll notice when I zoom in on this, guppies are obnoxious, okay? The males are you think human males are annoying? Okay, guppy males make us look great, okay? I mean, these guys are just ridiculous. They will hound the females non-stop. So definitely no more than 2 males in there, and 3 females is minimum. I mean, a lot of people I know will do 3 females to every male. Sometimes they'll put only 1 male in there. It's up to you. I wanted to start a little breeding colony. Again, I can always downsize it and sell them back. So that's just what I'm doing right now. But definitely always, always, always get at least 3 females. And if even to 1 male is fine. Basically, the reason I also do that is because it keeps the females a lot less stressed out. Because if you have, say you only have, 1 male and 1 female, he's going to be hounding her non-stop. She's never going to get a break. I kid you not, she will never get a break. So, I mean, the 3 females just kind of spreads that out a little bit more. Even with 2 males, I mean, sometimes you'll see both of them ganging up on 1 female and just hounding her. So, definitely no more than 2, because you don't want them to die of just sheer stress. So, we always like to keep everybody happy, no stress. This is Cloud 9, people. I mean, what's up? So, that's what's going on. Next time, we're going to talk about how to actually raise your fry. I don't think I really need to talk about sexing them because they're pretty obvious, but hey, why not? How to sex guppies real quick. Guppies are pretty much the most obvious fish out there. The females are a lot bigger and a lot less pretty. The males are a lot smaller and they're gorgeous. No offense to you males and females out there, but that's just how it is in the fish kingdom right now. I'll actually show you when I zoom in. So that's the end of today's video. We're going to do a little walkthrough, with the camera, just so you can see what's going on. You can see all the little babies, because, I mean, that's going to make you want to do this even more. But again, next time we'll talk about actually raising them, what I like to feed them, things like that. So, let's check out what we actually have going on here, folks. Alright. So, as you can see, the biggest ones that are coming up are my actual breeding clan. So right here, let's see, male, male, female. See how the difference? She doesn't have any coloration on her body. Is a lot fatter, and you can see this black spot right back there. That's actually the well, they're all live bears. They don't do eggs. So when that turns black, that's actually meaning that she is not only pregnant but has been fertilized. So that's a good suggestion. You'll notice when they're about to pop, they're gonna get a lot bigger. You don't have to help them or anything like that. They'll just kind of seclude themselves and do their thing. But as you can see, so let's see. The first video I showed you guys, this right here, this batch is all about this size. Those were the little baby guys that were in there now. So you can see they're well on their way. Now you can start to see, you can actually, they're right at about this week is when they turned, well, when I can actually start sexing them. So you can see, let's see, we got female. Where's the male? That's a male. Well, okay, I can't follow them around. They're, like I said, great guppies are crazy. See, there's a male hound and the female. See how it goes? They're just crazy little guys. Look at him showing off. Yeah, he thinks he's cool. Yeah, so you can see there's a bunch there. Let's see, here's another batch. That one right there is, whoop. Right. Okay, well, I can't get it to zoom, but that one's a little bit smaller. And then, right in the back, you can kind of see, there you go. There's the little babies from another batch. I mean, they're all over the place in here. I probably got, I don't even want to count how many are in here. I mean, there's just a ridiculous amount. Oh, this one's getting some red. Yeah, buddy. Pumped. So, as you can see, there's been a couple batches in here. Oh, there we go. There's a smaller batch right there. See? I've got like 5 different sizes of guppies in here right now. And, oh, by the way, I'm going to be doing something on assassin snail breeding because I just pulled 50 of those out. Yeah. 50. But seriously, it's been ridiculous with assassin snails lately. I bought 3 in my life. So, that's what we got going on with the guppies, folks. Hope you all are having a great week. And as always, I hope this brings you and your fish tanks a little bit closer to Cloud 9.